Hey, everyone. It's Blockchain Bernie here. And today we are digging into Solana's culture, the energy, the values, and the attitudes that make the Solana community tick. And the key question is, will Solana's unique culture, and it is very unique, be an asset or a liability in 2025? So I'm digging into all these different things that define that in this video. So make sure you watch it all the way to the end. But first, why does it even matter? And culture isn't just a buzzword, guys. It influences everything from development to user adoption and brand perception. So it is literally the foundation of any company, project, organization, whatever, right? Now let's define the Solana culture. Let's observe it. And I've been within Solana for like 3-4 years now. I started very early. I watched Marinade being the first liquid staking solution out there. I watched, projects like Sunny. Some of you might remember that one. And I watched all the NFT, should I say, craze and through all these years, right? So what is the Solana culture? How can we define Solana culture? So there are a few aspects to it, right? There is a speed and performance mindset. So that's probably the most obvious thing that you see when you join any of their discords, when you engage with them on X or stuff like that. They have that speed and performance mindset. And that's a little bit tough to figure out on why that is. Many fans love Solana for its high throughput and low fees. I mean, low fees, that's a no-brainer, right? Everyone loves low fees. And it's tightly related with the high speed, right? The high speed means we have a lot of block space, so a lot of people can get their transactions through for low fees. And that's only possible if you have this high speed, right? But the high speed and scalability, that was at the forefront of Anatoly's idea back in the day. His tagline for Solana before it was even there, when he was pitching it to the first VCs out there in San Francisco and Silicon Valley, it was blockchain at the speed of NASDAQ, right? So he wanted to have a faster blockchain, and mostly for trading and DeFi. That was his basic idea, and we have to understand that. And that is influencing the culture up until this day, right? So then the other part of the Solana culture that came later is NFT and the creator scene. The Solana NFT space grew rapidly in 2021 and 2022, fostering a fun, art-driven vibe, bringing in a wave of creators looking for cheaper minting fees. And the Solana community, and especially Toly, they jumped on that at light speed. When it became clear that NFTs can become a big trend, Solana wasn't really set up for that, right? There was Metaplex that created a lot of these things, and a lot of features needed to get added to Solana to make it a leader in the NFT space. And Solana reinvented itself during these days, 2021, 2022, with all these NFTs. And man, I can tell you, hadn't they done that, hadn't they been that fast there in reinventing themselves and jumping on that important trend, who knows if they're still there today, right? If they would still be there today, or if they would just be fallen into oblivion. So then a third part of the Solana culture is developer focus. So they do hackathons, they do grants, they have an active dev community on Discord and Telegram, and that all fosters a builder-first culture, right? A builder-first culture and encouraging experimentation. And Toly is tweeting a lot about PMF, and many people might even, that's part of Toly's thing, right? Sometimes he's tweeting in riddles and you need to know a lot of abbreviations or internal slang or something. He's writing about PMF a lot, and that is product market fit, right? So that's a term not only in blockchain and crypto, it's being used anywhere in the startup scene. You need to build a product that fits the market, right? There's a market with demands, and there's a product that meets demands. And we need to build fast and try out a lot of things and then adapt. And we here at Xandeum have done that as well with our storage layer that we're building, solving the blockchain storage trilemma. But yeah, for Solana, that has been the culture all along, very developer focused, and it counts what is really there. That's why we're building super crazy with our new Xandeum storage layer solution, to have something to show, to test out on our DevNet as soon as we can and as fast as we can. But that developer focused aspect, it has always been a big part of the Solana culture. And then we have move fast and break things. Originally, that term was coined, so the anecdote goes, by Mark Zuckerberg in the early Facebook days, which has been retracted from a little bit in later years, but just a little bit. Of course it's still there. Move fast and break things, and it's almost a Silicon Valley mantra, right? There is just no way we can know what the market wants and then spend 2 years, 3 years, 5 years developing it and then giving it to the public, and it's an overnight success. Within these 2 years or so, the world is changing so much. Competitors come up. The views of consumers and of potential users are changing. So we need to be fast here. And that's very deeply ingrained into Solana's culture, right? Some might call Solana the Silicon Valley startup of blockchains, leaning into rapid iteration. But with that can come network hiccups and critiques about stability, right? Because Solana still has that reputation of being the blockchain that has a lot of outages. There hasn't been one in, I don't know, probably 1.5 years or so at least, which is just awesome. But still, Solana's culture is pushing forward at the leading edge of technology, and I think that's important in this early phase that we are with blockchain at this time. And how can I say it's early days? Well, there's no mass adoption, right? If I talk to anyone on the street about blockchain or Bitcoin, maybe they've heard Bitcoin, but that's about it, right? So we're in super early days, and sometimes mass adoption comes really fast with just some missing link that's out there. And it could even be the Xandeum storage layer, where we suddenly make it feasible for Web 2 applications to get ported over to Web 3 and offer all this decentralization. And decentralization is, never forget that's the only reason blockchain and crypto technology is out there. If it weren't for decentralization of control, we could do it without blockchain. We wouldn't need that. So now, is that culture an asset, or is it going to be a liability going forward? So that's the big question. As an asset, innovation and rapid growth in a culture that welcomes risk and can push boundaries, that could attract top developers, leading to groundbreaking dApps by 2025. And that's the key. Solana needs to attract top talent, top developers that have the greatest ideas what we can do on blockchain, and needs to attract them to build on Solana, right? That's why the storage layer can add a lot to Solana and vice versa, because suddenly we can attract a whole bunch of new developers, people that have ideas, entrepreneurs that want to decentralize things onto the blockchain. But right now they cannot, because there's simply no storage layer. So Then we have the community cohesion. So the strong sense of belonging and pride can fuel initiatives like NFT collaborations, gaming projects, or the DeFi expansions, strengthening the network effects, right? So the community cohesion is really awesome in Solana. It is a really, really great community. Everyone's proud of what they've achieved, and yeah, that's a big asset of the Solana community. Marketing and branding, Solana's image of being fast and next gen resonates with younger audiences, new devs, and those frustrated by high fees on other chains. That's an asset, definitely. And but what could be the liabilities, right? So that's the subject of this video. I promised you to look into both aspects. The asset, what would make the culture an asset and what would make it a liability, and then do some final reckoning in the end of this video, right? A liability can be the network stability and the perception of the network stability, right? Frequent downtime or congestion events feed a narrative that Solana is experimental, and which can discourage long-term institutional adoption. That's important, right? We can always say like, okay, it's not that much of a problem if it's down for half a day or something, but it's going to feed that narrative. And if that narrative is further fed, then that hinders adoption, right? So Solana put a lot of effort onto getting more stability without sacrificing too much of that move fast and break things attitude here. Centralization accusations. That's also a liability. Some critics say Solana's culture favors big backers or heavy VC involvement. If the community dismisses centralization concerns, it could lead to trust issues in the future. Absolutely. It's always been a narrative on X, accusing Solana of centralization. I always found that was a little bit of, they couldn't find anything else, and they didn't like someone's leading the pack. That's not them. So they just accused them of something that's hard to argue about, right? I never felt that Solana really is centralized in any meaningful way, but maybe in some of these ways, and I see them putting a lot of effort onto decentralization, giving grants to developers that build decentralization dashboards and all these type of things. They are, intervening into the liquid staking scene and giving delegations to liquid staking pools that foster the decentralization and all these type of things. So then there's another aspect that might be a liability, which is burnout and over competition. The build fast environment can lead to rush projects, security issues, or dev burnout, which might harm the overall ecosystem. That is a real risk, and I think it's a liability. It's a little bit of a, it is really an over competition there, and it's so tough to get even the attention of the core Solana community with some of the things that are being built. And it comes with, attracting so many devs. There are so many ideas and business plans and everything being presented to them in each and every hackathon and everywhere. So I'm glad, we are accepted for the Mountain DAO, which is a great event in February in Salt Lake City, where all the Solana devs and the core team will be there to talk to and everything. So that's all great. So back to the liabilities, and there's a reputation risk, right? If too many short-lived or pump and dump NFT projects proliferate, or meme coin projects, the ecosystem's credibility may suffer. I think that's also a big liability, right? With some of these meme coins that are coming out there, and let alone their own bank meme coin and things like that. Let's see. All right. So now we've looked into what are the assets, what are the liabilities of Solana's culture. We dug into Solana's culture a lot. So now what is the outlook actually, and what are the key milestones to watch in the coming year? So key milestones to watch in Solana is the technology upgrades. Will Solana roll out more of the robust solutions to network outages and scalability? And since I'm quite, deeply involved in the Solana community, I'm super excited about that. I think we will see a lot of great stuff being rolled out in 2025. So then can they maintain or improve validator decentralization? They are doing a lot there also, and I have that inside view. So decentralization is being pushed, for me personally, a little bit over pushed even, right? Because not everything needs to be decentralized. We need to have decentralization of control. We need to have a certain level of geographic decentralization, but we don't need to go overboard, because sometimes over decentralization can also lead to, disadvantages in other areas like yield and performance and stuff like that. So, but they are pushing decentralization like crazy, and institutional acceptance. So we need to watch, will there be a Solana ETF soon? Will big name companies adopt Solana for real world use cases like payments, supply chain, and all of these things? So those are all the things to watch, and Solana already is on a great track with all of these. But yeah, let's watch it in the new year. So what is the outlook for Solana? There's an optimistic scenario and a pessimistic scenario. So let's talk about the optimistic one. Solana culture remains bold and innovative. The ecosystem matures, addresses decentralization critiques, and provides stable infrastructure for dApps. And the brand becomes associated with both speed and reliability. So that's the optimistic case. The pessimistic scenario, repeated network issues, right? That's one of the key scares for Solana going into the new year. Negative press overshadow the dev community's achievements. And a strong competitor emerges with a balanced approach to speed and decentralization. Also possible, and I'm screening that market all the time. Up until now, I've never seen one. Solana's break things culture starts to turn developers and users away. That would be part of that pessimistic scenario. So personally, I see Solana's culture as an incredible driver of innovation. And we need to do innovation in this early phase of blockchain technology. But it has to evolve to meet mainstream expectations. Once we go mainstream, the culture has to change. It has to adapt. But we're not even close to mainstream adoption with blockchain as of yet. If they can balance risk-taking with stability, they'll thrive. If not, they might become a liability. So what do you think about Solana's culture? Have you been involved in Solana culture? Have you been out there in the Solana Discord forum, or Solana's engaged with Solana guys on X? If you haven't, follow me on X, Blockchain Bernie, or Xandeum, and also join our Discord, join Solana's Discord, and see what you think, and drop me a comment down there. And please, my ask, of course, is give this video a like. I hope it has helped you to learn a little bit about Solana and the Solana culture, and how the culture can be an asset or liability going forward. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Stay curious, stay informed, and keep exploring the crypto frontier.